Hi everybody. How are you today? I hope everybody fine. Today we will continue our class with a new topic. Before we discuss on a new topic, let's we recap our previous topic. In previous topic we have discussed on the computer hardware. We have discussed on the Macintosh and Windows computers. We talked on how the network work for both computers. Furthermore, we talk on the local area network, LAN, metropolitan area network, MAN, and wide area network, WAN. Then, we discussed on the connection in the computer such as SCSI, IDE, USB, and FireWire. Then, we learned about the input and output hardware and also communication hardware. Further information you can refer to my previous chapter slide and lecture video. Now, our new topic title is Authoring Tools. Let's we take a look on topic overview and topic learning objectives. You will learn types of authoring tools and cross-platform authoring notes. While the learning objectives are you must be able to determine the appropriate authoring tools for your multimedia project. Next, you must be able to think all multimedia elements as objects and you must be able to interact those objects within their environment and normally will involve the programming tools. Then, you must understand the metaphors of the authoring tools use in their environments. Finally, you must avoid the common pitfalls of cross-platform project development. Now we discuss the new topic. Multimedia software tells the hardware what to do. Display the color red. Move that tiger 3 leaps to the left. Slide in the words from the right and blink them on and off. Play the sound of cymbal crashing. The basic tool set for building multimedia projects contains one or more authoring systems and various editing applications for test, images, sounds, and motion video. A few additional applications are also useful for capturing images from screen, translating file formats, and moving files among computers when you are part of a team. These are tools for the housekeeping tasks that make your creative and production life easier. The software in your multimedia toolkit and your skill at using it will determines what kind of multimedia work you can do and how fine and fancy you can render it. Multimedia authoring tools provide the important framework you need for organizing and editing the elements of your multimedia project, including graphics, sounds, animations, and video clips. Authoring tools are used for designing interactivity and the user interface, for presenting your project on screen, and for assembling diverse multimedia elements into a single, cohesive product. Authoring software provides an integrated environment for binding together the content and functions of your project, and typically includes everything you need to create, edit, and import specific type of data such as assemble raw data into playback sequence or cue sheet, and provide a structure method or language for responding to user input. With multimedia authoring software you can make video productions, animations, games, interactive websites, and etc. Okay, the first point is authoring system in multimedia. In multimedia authoring system, multimedia elements and events are often treated as objects that live in a hierarchical order of parent and child relationships. Messages passed among these objects order them to do things according to the properties or modifiers assigned to them. Object-based authoring programs typically provide objects pre-programmed with sensible properties, messages, and functions. For example, a video object will likely have a duration property such as how long the video play, and source property means the location of the video file. And it will likely accept commands from the system such as play and stop. Next point is highlight the features of the authoring tool. Generally, most of the authoring tools will consist these features: editing and organizing, programming, interactivity, performance tuning and playback, and final feature is delivery, cross-platform, and internet playability. Alright students. This slide will briefly explain regarding features of the authoring tools. Editing and organizing feature. All multimedia elements consists of images, text, animations, sounds, and video need to be created, edited, and converted to a standard file formats using specific software. Editing tools for these elements, particularly text and images, are often included. Then, the organization, design, and production process for multimedia involves storyboarding and flowcharting. Some authoring tools provide a visual flowcharting system or overview facility for illustrating your project's structure at a macro level. Storyboards or navigation diagrams can also help organize a project and can help focus the overall project scope for all involved. Because designing the interactivity and navigation flow of your project often requires a great deal of planning and programming effort. Your storyboard should describe not just the graphics of each screen, but interactive elements as well. Next is programming feature. Visual programming with icons or objects is perhaps the simplest and easiest authoring process. If you want to play a sound or put a picture into your project, just drag the elements icon into the playlist, or you can drag away to delete it. Authoring tools that offer a very high-level language, VHLL, or interpreted scripting environment for navigation control and for enabling user inputs, or goal-oriented programming language such as Animate is more powerful by definition. The more commands and functions provided in the scripting language, the more powerful the authoring system. Once you learn a scripting language, you will be able to learn other scripting languages relatively quickly because the principles are same, regardless of the command syntax and keywords used. With scripts, you can perform computational tasks such as sense and respond to user input, create character, icon, and motion animations, launch other applications, and control external multimedia devices. After the programming feature, we have interactivity features. Interactivity empowers the end users of your project by letting them control the content and flow of information. Authoring tools should provide one or more levels of interactivity. Means, simple branching, which offers the ability to go to another section of the multimedia production through an activity such as a key press, mouse click, or expiration of a timer. Other than simple branching, you also can use conditional branching, which supports a go-to that is based on the results of if-then decisions or events. An additional point is a structure language, that supports complex programming logic, such as nested if-thens, subroutines, event tracking, and message passing among objects and elements. Next feature is performance tuning and playback feature. A complex multimedia projects require exact synchronization of events such as the animation of an exploding balloon with its accompanying sound effect. Accomplishing synchronization is difficult because performance varies widely among the different computers used for multimedia development and delivery. Some authoring tools allow you to lock a production's playback speed to a specified computer platform, but others provide no ability whatsoever to control performance on various systems. In many cases, you will need to use the authoring tool's own scripting language or custom programming facility to specify timing and sequence on systems with different processors, either it's faster or slower. Be sure your authoring system allows precise timing of events. Next is about playback feature. As you build your multimedia project, you will be continually assembling elements and testing to see how the assembly looks and performs. Your authoring system should let you build a segment or part of your project and then quickly test it as if the user were actually using it. You should spend a great deal of time going back and forth between building and testing as you refine and smooth the content and timing of the project. You may even want to release the project to others who you trust to run it ragged and show you its weak points. Alright. Next features are delivery, cross-platform, and internet playability. Delivering your project may require building and runtime version of the project using the multimedia authoring software. A runtime version or standalone version allows your project to play back without requiring the full authoring software and all its tools and editors. Often, the runtime version does not allow users to access or change the content, structure, and programming of the project. If you are going to distribute your project widely, you should distribute it in the runtime version. Make sure your authored project can be easily distributed. Furthermore, it is also important to use tools that make transfer across platforms easy. If you develop the multimedia project on a Macintosh, you must look for tools that provide a compatible authoring system for Windows or offer a runtime player for the other platform. On the other hand, web and mobile apps have become significant delivery targets for multimedia. Authoring systems typically provide a means to convert their output so that it can be delivered within the context of HTML or DHTML, either with special plugins or by embedding Java, JavaScript, or other code structures in the HTML document or for a specific operating system such as iOS or Android. You need to test your authoring software for internet or app delivery before you build your project. You must make sure it performs as you expect. You must test it out for performance stability on as many platforms as you can. Alright students. I think it's better for us to take 5. Please come back after 5 minutes break.
Caution. A virus has been detected.
Okay, that enough for a break. Now we continue our discussion. Shall we continue? Okay students. This slide shows the types of the authoring tools. There are three types, which are card-based or page-based tools, icon-based or object-based and also known as event-driven authoring systems, and finally is a time-based tools. Card-based or page-based tools are authoring systems wherein the elements are organized as a stack of cards or pages of a book, respectively. Thousands of pages or cards may be available in the book or stack. These tools are best used when the bulk of your content consists of elements that can be viewed individually, letting the authoring system link these pages or cards into organized sequences. You can jump, on command, to any page you wish in the structured navigation pattern. This card-based or page-based authoring systems contain media objects such as buttons, text fields, graphic objects, backgrounds, pages, or cards, and even the project itself. The characteristics of objects are defined by properties such as highlighted, bold, red, hidden, active, locked, and so on. Each object may contain a programming script, usually a property of that object, activated when an event such as mouse click related to that object occurs. Card-based or page-based systems typically provide two separate layers on each card or page, which is background layer that can be shared among many cards or pages, and a foreground layer that is specific to a single card or page. Next is icon-based or object-based or event-driven based. This tool wherein multimedia elements and interaction cues are organized as objects in structural framework or process. This tools simplify the organization of your project and typically display flow diagrams of activities along branching paths. In complicated navigational structures, this charting is particularly useful during development. This tools provide a visual programming approach to organizing and presenting multimedia. First you build a structure or flowchart of events, tasks, and decisions, by dragging appropriate icons from a library. These icons can include menu choices, graphic images, sounds, and computations. The flowchart graphically depicts the project's logic. When the structure is built, you can add your content such as text, graphic, animations, sounds, and video clips. Then, to refine your project, you edit your logical structure by rearranging and fine-tuning the icons and their properties. With this tool, non-technical multimedia authors can build sophisticated applications without scripting. By placing icons on a flow line, you can quickly sequence events and activities, including decisions and user interactions. These tools are useful for storyboarding, as you can change sequences, add options, and restructure interactions by simply dragging and dropping icons. You can print out your navigation map or flowchart, an annotated project index with or without associated icons, design and presentation windows, and a cross-reference table of variables. Final tool is time-based tool. Time-based tools are authoring systems wherein elements and events are organized along a timeline, with resolutions as high as or higher than 1 per 30 second. Time-based tools are best to use when you have message with a beginning and an end. Sequentially organized graphic frames are played back at a speed that you can set. Other elements such as audio events are triggered at a given time or location in the sequence of events. The more powerful time-based tools let you program jumps to any location in a sequence, thereby adding navigation and interactive control. Each tool uses its own distinctive approach and user interface for managing events over time. Many use a visual timeline for sequencing the events of a multimedia presentation, often displaying layers of various media elements or events alongside the scale in increments as precise as 1 second. Others arrange long sequences of graphic frames and add the time components by adjusting each frame's duration of play. As shows on the slide, the Macromedia's Director and Flash are time-based development environment. But, both systems are obsolete. Nowadays, the famous time-based authoring tool is Adobe Animate, which you will use in your next lab session. Now, we briefly discuss regarding Adobe Director, formerly known as Macromedia Director, and Adobe Animate, which previously known as Macromedia Flash or Adobe Flash Professional. Director is a powerful and complex multimedia authoring tool with a broad set of features to create multimedia presentations, animations, and interactive multimedia applications. It requires a significant learning curve, but once you mastered, it is among powerful of multimedia development tools. In Director, you assemble and sequence the elements of your project, called a movie, using a cast and a score. The cast is a multimedia database containing still images, sound files, text, palettes, quick draw shapes, programming scripts, QuickTime movies, Flash movies, and even other Director files. You tie these cast members together using the score facility, which is a sequencer for displaying, animating, and playing cast members, and it is made up frames that contain cast members, tempo, a palette, timing, and sound information. Each frame is played back on a stage at a rate specified in the tempo channel. Director utilized Lingo, a full-features object-oriented scripting language, to enable interactivity and programmed control. Next is Adobe Animate. Animate is a time-based development environment. However, Animate is also particularly focused on delivery of rich multimedia content to the web. With the Flash Player plugin installed in more 95% of the world's browser, Animate delivers far more than simple static HTML pages. ActionScript, the proprietary, under-the-hood scripting language of Animate, is based upon the international ECMAScript standard, which is derived from the Netscape's original JavaScript. OK. This slide want to highlight some important information regarding cross-platform. When you develop a multimedia project on Macintosh, there is some info that you need to be aware. Macintosh and Windows computers use a different schemes to manage text and colors. While using a text fields, you must ensure that the text is displays correctly on both platforms. Means, you need to test your output on both platforms and make sure the output is present as what you expect. Furthermore, outline and shadow styles on text should be avoided when you use Macintosh computer, because Windows computer currently not support that feature. Finally, we are on the summary slide. To summarize our discussion today, I can conclude that multimedia authoring tools will provide the framework needed for organizing and editing the multimedia elements in a project. Normally, multimedia elements also known as object in the canvas or workplace. Then, we have learned there are three types of authoring tools, which are card-based or page-based, icon-based or object-based or event-driven based, and time-based authoring tools. Final information that been highlighted in today's discussion is about text and color compatibility must be verified and tested before you deliver the complete multimedia project for cross-platform. Now, we finished to discussion Chapter 9 regarding the authoring tools for multimedia project. If you have any question, you can ask me at any time. It is my pleasure to answering your question. That's all for today. Thank you, and until we meet again in a next class. Thank you.
What?